everyone, it's Christina from the DIYmommy.com, and today I want to show you how to make a beautiful rustic farmhouse jute rug with dollar store twine. For this project, I'm using some jute cord from the dollar store. I found this one at Dollarama here in Canada, but you can find similar cord at most dollar stores. I thought it would be fun to challenge myself to make a farmhouse style rug for my porch only with this dollar store twine. I also used this crochet hook, which is a size Q16, a 16mm crochet hook. A big fat crochet hook makes this project go quite quickly. First, I'm creating a slip knot, so I'm tying a loop in my jute cord like this, and then I am pulling another loop of the cord through that first loop like this. This is the beginning of my crochet chain. Then I'm putting my crochet hook into the loop, and I'm pulling another loop through the first loop. And this is going to be your first chain that's going to start your rug. So I wanted my mat to measure about 3 feet by 4 feet. You can make your mat measure however long you want it to be. So for mine, it ended up being about 60 chains long. So just kind of chain as long as you want the mat to be. After I finished all of my 60 chains, I'm here at the end. And I'm going to do a double crochet. So I'm just turning the jute around my hook like this. And then I am pushing my hook through the first chain on that first row, pulling another loop of jute yarn through, looping around some more yarn, pulling it through 2 of my loops, looping around some more cord and pulling it through the last 2 loops on my hook. And this is called a double crochet, and they're nice and tall, so it's going to make this jute mat go quite quickly. So I'm going to continue doing that all the way down my 60 chains on my first chained row. So I'm basically double crocheting in all of my chains on the first row. So again, I'm looping around my hook. I'm pushing my hook through a bottom chain like this, pulling another loop through that chain, hooking onto another loop of jute cord, pulling that through 2 loops on my crochet hook, wrapping another loop of jute through and pulling that through the remaining 2 loops on my crochet hook. So continue like this all the way down that first chain that you made. And you'll notice that I'm just pulling through just one little piece of my chain on the first row because I want to create a textured look, and I'm going to be doing this throughout this tutorial, so I will mention when I'm doing that. Usually you hook through the full piece of chain through the 2 pieces of yarn on the chain, but I'm just hooking through one to create this textured look that I want for this really nice rustic farmhouse mat. So after you've finished your first row of double crochet, you're going to get to the end of that chain. And here I'm just double crocheting into the final chain piece at that first row. And sometimes it's a little bit tricky to double crochet into your first chain, into your base chain. So you might have to just kind of, work your way into those loops as best you can. It is a lot easier to work with a nice large hook like this because your loops are nice and big. And again, like I said, it's nice and quick too. So when you're finished your bottom row, it's going to look like this. And then you're going to flip everything around and start on row number 2. So to begin, I'm chaining 2. So 1, wrapping some yarn around, pulling it through. This is number 2. And then I'm going to do some more double crochets. So I'm wrapping that jute cord around my crochet hook, and then I'm going to push my hook not into the next chain. I'm going to skip a chain, and then I'm going to go into the next chain after that, and I'm pushing it through that back string of my chain because I want to create texture. I'm pulling it through 2 and I'm pulling it through 2 again to create my double crochet. So I'll show you that again. I'm wrapping around my hook. I'm pushing my crochet hook into the back piece of my chain and then completing my double crochet. And again, the reason I'm pushing my crochet hook into just that back portion of my chain is because I want to create a textured look for my mat. Because it's just plain jute cord, I wanted to create a striped textured look. So you can continue this way, double crocheting into all of the chains along your row, and it goes nice and quickly. This is a great DIY to do when you're just watching TV, when you just want to relax. It's really, really nice and relaxing and quite satisfying too. And here's how that texture is going to look, that nice textured stripe. I really like this effect, just chaining into the back loop of your chain. Once you've finished that row, here I'm just doing the final double crochet of my row number 2. Pulling through the 2 loops, pulling through the 2 loops again. And then again, you're just going to flip your piece all the way around and begin on the next row. So I'm chaining 2 again, 1, 2. I'm flipping my whole piece around. And then I'm going to do another row of double crochets. This is how the back of your rug is going to look. This time I'm going to double crochet into the front part of my chain. So I'm wrapping around and skipping that first chain. And then here's the bottom chain I'm showing you here. And I'm going to double crochet into the front of the chain. So wrapping around, pushing my hook through just that front thread of the chain, and then completing my double crochet. So basically you're going to just alternate rows like this. You're double crocheting first into the back piece of your chain, and then on the next row into the front, into the back, into the front, etc. And this is what's going to create that nice textured stripe that I want. You could do a regular double crochet if you'd like to, if you're making a jute mat, and just push your hook through both pieces of your chain. That's going to create less of a texture. It's just going to be more of a flat looking mat. This is totally up to you. Use your own creativity to make this farmhouse jute mat your own. I will also leave links in the description box below if you want more instruction on how to crochet. Crocheting is such a fun DIY. It's a lot easier than knitting, I find, so it's a really nice fiber art to pick up if you're just beginning. So I love how this turns out. Here is after a few rows. I just wanted to show you how I put extra jute on when you run out. You can just put 2 pieces together like this and then tie them together in a nice knot. And then just make sure that your knot is on the back of your work. So when you're crocheting, just kind of push it to the back of your work. I used 5 of these jute cord rolls for my mat, but you'll need more if you're making a bigger mat, obviously, or if you're a little more of a tight crocheter than I am. But for my approximately 3 by 4 foot rug, I used 5 of these rolls of jute, and they were $4 Canadian each. I think they're around $2 or $3 American if you're going to buy them in the Dollar Tree. When you're finished your mat, just cut your jute off and then pull the excess through the loop that you created. And optionally, you can add some fringes on the edge of your mat like I did. I love fringe always, so of course I'm going to add mine to my mat. So what I did was I just cut some pieces of 8-inch twine. I'm just using the leftover twine that I had, cutting a whole bunch of 8-inch pieces, folding those pieces in half, using my crochet hook to push it through the edges of my mat like this, and pulling the folded edge of my fringe through, and then pulling the ends through the loop that I created like this. So I just kind of eyeballed it and added a bunch of fringe onto the edge of my mat. I do like all the texture that this creates, and I like how it just gives the mat a little bit more interest. But again, you could leave it plain if you want. You could add a thicker fringe, a thinner fringe. Again, use your creativity and make this mat your own. And here is how my finished jute rug looks. I am completely happy with how this turned out. It looks rustic, it looks country, it is incredibly durable. I love using it on my porch out here, and I think I'm probably going to make some more for inside too. I think it's just a really fun DIY, nice and relaxing. I love to crochet and I don't do it that often, but this was a lot of fun. It was really inexpensive because the jute was just from the dollar store, and I'm going to show you the rest of my spring front porch on Monday, so I hope you stay tuned for that. I love how the jute rug looks in the space. Let me know what you think of this DIY in the comments below. I would love to hear if you would try it, or if you like crochet, if you would try something similar, let me know. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more DIY and decor ideas. Bye!